Good day, Deep and Word family. Welcome to day 129 of our Bible study review. Today we're going through chapters 45 through 48 of the book of Isaiah. Chapter 45 opens up with a bang with Yahuwah Elohim calling a Gentile, a pagan king, right? King Cyrus, he is over the Medo-Persian Empire, the empire that conquers Babylon. This hasn't even happened yet. Judah is not even exiled to Babylon yet. He is foretelling of a king who is going to let his people return back to Jerusalem. And then he gets very, very specific on how it's going to happen. So let's just open up from verse 1 and start reading. It says, "Thus says Yahuwah to Cyrus, his anointed, whose right hand I have held, to subdue nations before him, and to loosen the loins of kings, to open doors before him, so that the gates will not be shut. I will go before you and make the crooked places straight. I will break into pieces the gates of bronze and shatter the bars of iron." This is a prophecy of exactly how the Medo-Persian Empire is going to overthrow Babylon. And when we read the book of Daniel, we will see this happening. It happens in Daniel chapter 5 when Belshazzar is having this huge feast, right? And he's using the holy instruments that came from the temple in Jerusalem. And while they're having this huge feast, they are puffed up in pride. They think that their nation, they think that Babylon, the empire, will never, ever fall. And right as they are partying, it says that there's this writing that comes upon the wall. And there's no one who is able to interpret this but Daniel. And Daniel reads the writing on the wall, and he pretty much tells Belshazzar, your kingdom will fall this night, in a moment, in an instant. Your life is done. Right outside their party is Cyrus, who diverts the Euphrates River that runs right underneath the city, right? And so what he does is he diverts the river, the water, and he diverts it into a canal or a swamp, right? And he causes his men to walk under the city and break into this gate. Well, the gate didn't have to be broken into, y'all, because the bronze gate that was impenetrable, it says that Yahuwah Elohim is the one who made sure it was open. Check the description box below because I'm going to share the historian who told exactly how this happened, how Cyrus was able to come and overthrow the Babylonians. Our Yahuwah Elohim can move the heart of any of his image bearers to accomplish his will. And you will see this contrast of this Gentile, this pagan king who doesn't know Yahuwah, but his heart is moved. And when he is commanded to do this thing, to write a decree to let the children of Judah return back to Jerusalem, he just says, "Yes, Lord." Yes, he says yes to this God that he can't see, but his heart is moved and he obeys the command. And then we see this contrast of the people who are called by his name. They are called by his name, but they're not calling upon his name. They don't know him. Yet a pagan Gentile king who does not know him just says yes to him, right? So we start to see this contrast. So let's start reading from verse 4. It says, "For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, my chosen one, I have even called you by your name. I have named you, though you have not known me." So in this case, the anointed one is the one who is purposed to do his will, right? Can you imagine a Jew stumbling over this verse, calling a pagan king the anointed one of Yahuwah, right? So this is here to humble them and let them know, those who do my will, those who I prepare to do a special work, that's who I call my anointed one. He knew that the Yehudim, right, the Jews would have trouble with this. So later on, the prophet Isaiah prophesies on behalf of the Father, and he says, "Woe to him who strives with his maker. Shall the clay say to the potter, 'What are you making?' Or the thing that you are making say, 'He has no hands'? Woe to him who says to his father, 'What are you begetting?' Or to the woman, 'To what are you giving birth?'" He's saying, do not question me and my tactics and my methods on how I bring my will to come about. I will keep my word regardless of you children of Israel who have been unfaithful to me. I will use a pagan king to show you that when I move the heart of someone, an image bearer, to do my will, it is the one who says yes to me who is anointed. So then Yahuwah goes on to say that he's the only one true God. He foretells of these things before they happen. He is the saving grace. So then he goes and talks about Egypt. He says the products of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia and the Sabians, men of stature, shall come over you, and they shall be yours. They shall come after you in chains. They shall come over, and they shall fall down before you. They shall make supplication to you, saying, surely Elohim is with you, and there is no other. There is no other Elohim, no other God. Why is he saying this? Because at this moment in time, we know that the southern kingdom of Judah was trying to make an alliance with the Egyptians because the king of Assyria was surrounding their city. They are not exiled to Babylon yet, but he's saying, you will no longer place your trust in these foreign kings. You will no longer place your trust in the idols that you carve out for yourself. Let's go right here in verse 20. It says, they have no knowledge who set up the wood of their carved image and pray to a God that cannot save. Declare and set forth your case. Let them take counsel together. Who has declared this from ancient times? Who has told it from that time? Have I not Yahuwah? And there is no Elohim besides me, a righteous God and Savior. There is no other besides me. He keeps saying, who will you liken me to? Who is above me? Are you going to bow down and seek counsel to the work of your own hands? Let's read verses 22 through 24. Turn to me and be saved, all ends of the earth, for I am Elohim and there is no other. I have sworn by myself, the word has gone out of my mouth in righteousness and shall not return, that to me every knee shall bow and every tongue shall take an oath. Surely one shall say, only in Yahuwah are righteousness and strength. And now we look at chapter 46, which we will see a contrast in gods. All right, so let's open up and read the first part. I just want you to see the contrast between verses 1 and 2 and then verses 3 and 4. So right here, let's read. Bel bows down and Nebo stoops. Bel and Nebo are the two main gods of the Babylonian Empire, right? So you know that Belshazzar names himself after one of those gods, and Nebuchadnezzar names himself after Nebo. Now we know the same is true within the Hebraic culture, right? So Isaiah, this is the English way to say his name, but in Hebrew it's Yeshayahu, right? His name is built into his people. And even the prophet Daniel, Dani, El is short for Elohim. These Hebrew boys are named after their God. So we're going to see this contrast within this. Let's keep reading. It says, their idols are appointed to the beasts and cattle. So the beasts and cattle have to carry their gods. He says, the things that you carry are burdensome. They are a burden to the weary beast. They stoop, they bow down together. They could not deliver the burden, but them themselves have gone into captivity. He's saying your gods have gone into captivity by way of a beast, by way of another created thing. Now here's the contrast. He says, listen to me, O house of Jacob, all the remnant of the house of Israel, who are born by me from birth and are carried from the womb. And even to your old age, I am he, and even to your graying years, I will carry you. He's saying there's a contrast. I am a God who carries you, but yet you're about to be exiled into a land where these people carry their gods. Their gods cannot deliver them. And throughout the chapter, he still boasts of his majesty. He says, I'm the one who created the heavens. I'm the one who declares things from beginning to end. And I tell you in advance. And so this is what he says to his people. Indeed, I have spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it, and I also do it. Listen to me, you stubborn-hearted who are far from righteousness. I bring my righteousness near. It shall not be far off, and my salvation shall not tarry. And I will grant salvation in Zion, and my glory for Israel. He's saying, I will do it because of what I have promised. I will do it because I hold myself to my own word. I will not go above the things that I have said. I will keep my word. Therefore, I will keep my people. And we know that the word of Elohim is also called our Messiah. He's saying, I will keep my salvation for this great time of restoration. And now we walk into chapter 47, and it foretells of the fall of Babylon. And Babylon, much like all of the other nations, are likened to a woman. So let's start reading. It says, come down and sit in the dust. Come and be humbled, basically. O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, right? They will be overthrown in one night. Go back and read that in Daniel 5 if you need to. It says, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for you shall no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind the meal. He's saying what you have caused other people to do, he goes, you will do for yourself. And he says, uncover your veil. Strip off the skirt, uncover the leg. pass over the rivers. Your nakedness shall be uncovered, and your shame shall be seen. Isaiah is speaking and prophesying to this kingdom that has yet to come and overthrow Judah and Jerusalem. And he says that Yahuwah is going to take vengeance. And it says, as for our Redeemer, Yahuwah Sabaoth, right? The Lord of hosts, the Holy One of Israel. He says, sit silently and go into darkness, O daughters of the Chaldeans, for you shall no more be called the Queen of Kingdoms. I was angry with my people, and I have polluted my inheritance and given them into your hand. Yet you did not show them mercy, not even on the aged, right? He says the gray-haired, you didn't show any mercy. You have laid your yoke heavy. You said, I shall be queen forever. Now that is the spirit of Babylon, which is the world system, but the spirit of Babylon was even over physical Babylon of that time. So verse 8 is the response of Yahuwah Elohim to this puffed up empire of Babylon. It says, therefore, now hear this, you who are given to pleasures, who dwell carelessly, who say in your heart, I am he, and there is none besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, nor shall I know the loss of children. Right? Yahuwah Elohim is saying, I am going to humble you because I am the one who there is none other like. I am the highest, and I will show you that you are nothing. I used Nebuchadnezzar to humble my people, but then you puffed yourself up, and now I have to humble you too. Now let's read verse 9. It says, but these two things shall come to you in a moment, in one day. This happened in Daniel chapter 5. It says, the loss of children and widowhood will happen. And so if you read the rest of the chapter, you just see how he is going to humble Babylon. Babylon has lived in this lap of luxury, and all of the silk, everything, all of the exports from all of the other nations, which they had exiled. He's saying in a moment, in one night, this will happen to you. Then in chapter 48, we see that Yahuwah Elohim turns his attention back to his people. And this is what he says to them. It says, hear this, O house of Jacob, who are called by the name of Israel, and have come forth from the waters of Judah, who answer by the name of Yahuwah, and invoke the Elohim of Israel, but not in truth and not in righteousness. He said, you have called upon my name, but while doing your wickedness, right? He says, you praise me with your lips, but your heart is far from me, essentially. Throughout the chapter, he says, look, you, my own people, I knew that you would deal treacherous with me. I knew that you would be stiff-necked. He goes, I told you these things in advance. Therefore, you could not give the credit to your carved images. So let's continue reading through the middle of verse 8. And it says, for I knew that you would deal treacherously, very treacherously, and that from birth you have been called a rebel, right? Israel was really Jacob. Jacob's name means supplanter, right? Almost like a deceiver. And he says, from your birth, you have been stiff-necked, right? We know that Jacob was renamed Israel, but nonetheless, this is their father. And he says, for my name's sake, I will defer my anger, and for my praise, I will restrain it for you, so that you are not cut off. See, I have refined you, but not with silver. I have chosen you in the furnace of affliction. For my own sake, even for my own sake, I will do it. For how can my name be polluted? Again, Yahuwah is declaring his own righteousness for his own name's sake. The promises that he made to Abraham, he says, I will do it for my name, so that my name will not be polluted, regardless of you, unfaithful Israel. But this is his call to them. It says right here in verse 12, listen to me, O Jacob and Israel, whom I called. I am he. I am the first and I am the last. My hand also has laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand has spanned the heavens. When I call them, they stand together. He says, I'm the one true God. I am the one who commands all things in the heavens and in the earth, and they obey my command. But my image bearers have yet to do as all of creation does. Now let's go down to verse 18. It says, oh, that you had listened to my commandments. Then your peace would have been as a river, and your righteousness as the waves of the seas. Your descendants also would have been as the sand, and your offspring like the grains of the sand. Their name would not have been cut off nor destroyed from before me. Now I want you to liken this to Matthew chapter 23, verses 37 through 39. So I'm going to go there and read it, because this is essentially the same words, right, that the Father is speaking. The Son has also spoken to Israel. So let's hop on over to Matthew 23, starting from verse 37. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those those who are sent to you. How often I would have gathered your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you would not. Look, your house is left to you desolate. For I tell you, you shall not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Adon. And that is lowercase O-R-D. So he's saying, until you say my name, until you say my name, you will not see me again. And Jerusalem will be in ruins until you call my name. Now this was during the Second Temple period. But at the very end, Jerusalem is going to go through some stuff. And let's close out today's reading with the rest of the verses from 48, 20 through 22. It says, go forth from Babylon, flee from the Chaldeans, with a voice of singing, declare, proclaim this, utter it even to the ends of the earth. Say, Yahuwah has redeemed his servant Jacob. They did not thirst when he led them through the deserts. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them. He also split the rock, and the waters gushed out. There is no peace, says Yahuwah, for the wicked. So again, he's saying, depart from Babylon. Come out of her, my people, lest you be partakers of her sins, right? He says he split the rock, right? Our Messiah is the rock. He was the one who was crushed, right? And when he was pierced in his side, did not water come out? Did he not say he was the water, the everlasting water, that if you drink of him, you'd never be thirsty again? Look, this is a foreshadow. Everything in the beginning is pointing to our precious Messiah. Y'all, the whole world system is called Babylon. That's why at the very end, it is Babylon who is destroyed. It is a spirit of pride that goes against the laws of Yahuwah Elohim, who goes against his Torah, right? And the only way free out of that bondage is through the Messiah. That is all that I have for you today, Deep in Word family. Until tomorrow, Yah bless.